Oh my god, this WrestleMania sucked. I'm not just saying this just to appease to all you people that didn't like this WrestleMania. I'm not trying to appease to the internet marks. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to do all this stuff. No, I legitimately believe that this WrestleMania is fucking garbage. And it's not just the fact that I didn't get what I wanted. Well, that does play a big factor in that. But it's really the fact that this WrestleMania, what really sucks about this WrestleMania is that this could have been one of the best WrestleManias of all time. This WrestleMania had the card, had the potential to be one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. It could have surpassed WrestleManias like WrestleMania 30, WrestleMania 31, which I consider to be the two best WrestleManias in the previous decade. Those WrestleManias could easily surpass this WrestleMania. I mean, this WrestleMania could easily surpass those WrestleManias. This could have been better than 33 and 32, even though I think those are garbage WrestleManias. But anyway, you know what really sucks about this WrestleMania? This WrestleMania ended up being worse than WrestleMania 33. It ended up even being kind of worse than WrestleMania 32. And I consider that to be one of the bottom of the barrel, worst WrestleManias of all time. And it's just the fact that this WrestleMania just had so much expectations. Like, we expected this WrestleMania to be awesome, to be spectacular and everything, but WWE just didn't deliver. It's like, basically, this WrestleMania is just all hype, but zero delivery. You know what match I actually liked on this card? What match I actually thoroughly enjoyed the ending? It had, like, anything? Nothing. I did not enjoy one single match. At least WrestleMania 32, I enjoyed some matches on there. I enjoyed some of the endings on there. This WrestleMania, not once did I actually say, wow, that was a good WrestleMania match. That was a good WrestleMania worthy match with a good WrestleMania worthy ending. No, not once. Never. And what really sucks about this WrestleMania is the fact that my cousin, who's a casual fan, who's not really a big fan of wrestling, but he will watch it for WrestleMania. He fell asleep during half of this WrestleMania until the time Nakamura and Styles came on. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to get into that in a second. Anyway, so what really, it's just, oh my god, just this WrestleMania is just so damn bad. I just don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about it, but at the same time, I'm kind of forced to talk about it, so I kind of just gotta get into the review. Just all hype, just all expectations. This WrestleMania was too overhyped. This is the reason why we can't have nice things in wrestling. This WrestleMania is the reason why we can't overhype things in wrestling. We should always just go into things involving wrestling with the tiniest bit of expectation. Because if we overhype a wrestling event, if we overhype especially a match, if we overhype anything involving wrestling, more than likely that match is going to be shit. That wrestling show is going to be a pile of shit. And guess what happened with this WrestleMania? We overhyped this WrestleMania to death. We all said this WrestleMania was going to be one of the best WrestleManias of all time. Even I fell into the hype train. And you guys know I don't fall into the hype train that easily. But this card gave me a reason to fall into the hype train. And I did. And then I saw the show. And I got disappointed very easily. This just, good God, my fucking brain. This WrestleMania legitimately hurt my brain watching this. Oh my god. And I know Deluxe Man and all those people, I know some of these YouTubers are just having a ball, just ranting and screaming on top of their lungs about this WrestleMania. I just want to review this WrestleMania thoroughly and just really spread my opinions about it. And ooh, when we get onto the main card, you're really going to see my gripes with this WrestleMania. In fact, let me drink some water before I get into this bitch. Alright, so we start off with the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. It was decent. You know, in my opinion, most Andre the Giant Battle Royals really aren't that great in general. But the ending was probably the least problematic in my opinion. Bray Wyatt finally returned, for one thing, after the Ultimate Deletion, which I just call it Final Deletion 2.0, honestly. Anyway, so Bray Wyatt returned and turned babyface for the first time ever. And this is pretty cool in my opinion because, seriously, as of recently, Bray Wyatt's character has gone Nowhere. It has not gone anywhere at all. And, just, good God. My God. And by the way, speaking of Asuka, I'm gonna go into Asuka in a second, so don't you worry about that, whoever posted that comment. Good God, man. Anyway, so that match, Matt Hardy won the match. I gave it a C. I mean, I expected Matt Hardy to win. That was the only time where a winner won something at WrestleMania, and it made thematic sense in the story. But speaking of stuff that didn't make any bit of sense, speaking of stuff that didn't make a lick of sense, let's talk about the next match. Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander. You know, for a Cruiserweight match, and for the way this Cruiserweight tournament thing has been hyped recently, you would think that they would, at the very least, steal the show. You would think that they would do something to steal the show to, like, make this WrestleMania, or at least make a WrestleMania moment for the Cruiserweights. Because so far, in my opinion, no Cruiserweight has had a WrestleMania moment outside of them, like, winning the World Heavyweight Championship, like Rey Mysterio and shit. But yeah, so Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander. It was okay, but in my opinion, here's the thing. This match, Cedric Alexander did not belong in this match at all. This match did not call for Cedric Alexander to be in here at all. In my opinion, I really think Blake Murphy should have been in this match. You know, Alexa Bliss's husband or whatever. In my opinion, I think he should have been in the match. I think he's probably the best one in the Cruiserweight division so far. And it's really just that I just think he deserved it more than Cedric Alexander did. We all knew Mustafa Ali was going to go in there anyway, so it didn't really matter if he went in there or not. But that's kind of what sucks about this match. It's just that Cedric Alexander just did not belong in this match at all. It was just very contriving where, like, tell me, what's one thing that Cedric Alexander has done meaningful in this Cruiserweight division since he debuted in WWE? Don't mention about anything that he's done in, like, Ring of Honor or Impact Wrestling, etc. Don't mention any of that shit. Tell me one thing that he's done, like, recently. Nothing. Just like whoever posted that comment right now. Not a damn thing. Not once did he ever do anything. So why is he all of a sudden deserved to be in this? This is why I'm not a fan of wrestling tournaments, because usually they'll always go with a wrestler that like really either doesn't deserve it or it just doesn't make sense for them to be in this title picture at all. So anyway, the match was decent enough. It wasn't like all that bad in my opinion. I just really think that Mustafa Ali should have won. Because honestly, the way they were setting up this tournament, it was calling for him to win. From the way they were hyping this match up, it really just screamed that he should have won that match. But Cedric Alexander ended up winning. And this was the start of wins that didn't make a lick of sense. By the way, once again, this is also one of the least offending things of this card. I'm going to rip into some of the other things that was very offensive in my opinion. But anyway, I gave the match a B+. I still think that Cedric shouldn't have won. I still think Cedric shouldn't have even been in that match at all. I really think that spot should have gone to Blake Murphy, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Anyway, so we move on to the Women's Battle Royal match. Nothing really to say about that. It was what it was. But one thing, I gotta say something. Why does the trophy look like a woman's vagina? Like, is there a reason behind them making... I know about the whole Fabulous Moolah. I know about that. I know that she was a rapist pimp and everything. But I would rather have a trophy of her than have a trophy of a woman's vagina. Like, honestly. So, anyway, the match was decent. It wasn't like anything overly spectacular. There was really nothing to really clamor onto for you to really think like, wow, this Battle Royal is good. In fact, in my opinion, most Battle Royals that don't involve the Royal Rumble are pretty goddamn boring, honestly. So, yeah. Anyway, the match it was decent enough. Like, the story of that match really was surrounded with Sasha Banks and Bayley. So here's my question: if the story of that Battle Royal was surrounded by Bayley and Sasha Banks' little feud that might lead to Bayley's heel turn, how come neither one of them won the damn match? Huh? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I love Naomi. Believe me, I love Naomi. My family that watches wrestling, they love Naomi. But honestly, it didn't make a lick of sense that she won that Battle Royal. Same thing with Cedric Alexander. What has Naomi done since losing that title at SummerSlam? Since losing the SmackDown Women's Championship at SmackDown? What has she done in any way to deserve this win? Nothing. At all. And it's same thing. Like, it's just winners, they're just pulling shock value for the sake of shock value. And that's honestly the theme of this WrestleMania. Shock value for the sake of shock value. And that kind of sucks, honestly. But we're just about to get into the rest of the match. I mean, the rest of the card and everything. Because really, those three matches are the least offensive of this pay-per-view. I'm about to... Yeah, I'm about to, like, rip into the other matches. Like, I'm about to rip into the other matches that just didn't make a lick of sense. But anyway, first of all, the attendance record, I gotta say one thing. 78,000 people, complete bullshit. The Mercedes Superdome, if you guys ever did your homework and looked up the Mercedes Superdome, that stadium cannot realistically hold that many people. At its maximum capacity is 75,000 people. That's how you know WWE grossly inflates their attendance records. I mean, yeah, it's not as offensive as when they said, like, oh, 100,000 people were at WrestleMania 32, or 93,000 people were at WrestleMania 3. No, it's not that bad, but at the same time, it's like, realistically, if you really do your homework on some of these stadiums, you just realize that these numbers are bullshit, honestly. And yeah, like, also, and I feel sorry for the people that paid the 78,000 people that paid to watch this WrestleMania. I feel bad for them because they wasted their money on this shit show, honestly. So if I was thinking about going to this WrestleMania too. Just like 32, I was thinking about attending this WrestleMania. I'm glad I did not, because I would have been pissed if I had to suffer through that shit show. Well, anyway, speaking of shit shows, let's get to the main card of this show. Anyway, so we start with the Intercontinental Championship with The Miz, Seth Rollins, and okay, really bad connection. Oh, that sucks. Anyway, we start off with that match, and the match was good. In my opinion, it was the best match of the night. It really wasn't all that bad. It could have been much better. But, you know, considering when they're working with a guy who, when two of the best wrestlers in the world are working with a guy who's more known for his microphone work than his ring skills, you can only do so much, honestly. And I think, to me, it feels like The Miz kind of held down the match more. Like, if it had been like just a regular match between, like, Seth Rollins and Finn Balor or Prince Devitt. I'm just gonna call him Prince Devitt because that's what I know him as. If we were gonna have like a match between Seth Rollins and Prince Devitt for the Intercontinental Championship, that would have been an awesome match. But because we had to add The Miz, because, you know, he's like the best Intercontinental Champion of all time, even though he's not even close in my opinion. We had to have him in that match, so it kind of held down the match a bit. But yeah, there was really nothing too spectacular about it, but it's kind of the same thing where the match, in my opinion, I think it would have been better if Prince Devitt had won. But Seth Rollins winning it wasn't really that offensive either. It could have been handled much better. But I really wasn't that mad that Seth Rollins won. He really hasn't had like a big moment in wrestling since his win at WrestleMania 31, and that, guys, was 3 years ago. It's been 3 years since Seth Rollins has had like a big wrestling or WWE moment since WrestleMania 31, and that's kind of sad. I do not count his win against Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank to be a big moment, since, you know, he lost the title like 2 minutes later. Well, anyway, so I gave the match a A-. In my opinion, yeah, Seth Rollins does deserve to be in the Universal Championship picture, but as long as Brock's holding that title, still not happening. Anyway, so I gave the match an A-. It could have been much better. I really think if Miz hadn't been involved in that match at all, it would have been very good, but it just didn't cut it, quite frankly, in my opinion. Well, anyway, so, you know, it's kind of sad that I gotta look through the results because I don't remember anything about this WrestleMania, honestly. Well, anyway, so we move on to Asuka versus Charlotte. Okay, this match, I was hyped for this match. I honestly thought this match was gonna, like, outshine every match. I thought it was gonna outshine Shinsuke Nakamura and Styles. I'm gonna get into that match in a second, guys. Don't worry about that. I thought this was gonna outshine Lesnar versus Roman, and it kinda did. It's a good match. Don't get me wrong. It's very intense. Asuka is just brutal, man. Like, I wouldn't want to fight that bitch, honestly. She would kick my skull in if I tried to fight her. Shit. Well, anyway, so it's kind of the same thing, you know, the running theme with this. This is what really started me doubting this WrestleMania. Asuka lost. She lost to the figure 8 lock, which, in my opinion, should not be that devastating of a move to cause her to tap out. And it wasn't like, it just kind of came out of nowhere. There was really not a lot of build to that figure 8 leg lock a lot, and it looks like Charlotte fucked up her arm, so she might not even be holding that title for long anyway, because of that reason. And that kind of sucks, you know? But anyway, so Charlotte beat the streak. She broke the streak, and it was kind of shocking, but at the same time, I remember thinking to myself, like, I remember thinking to myself when everybody kept saying, oh, who is Charlotte going to lose to? Is Ronda Rousey going to break the streak? Is Alexa Bliss going to break the streak? Is Carmella going to break the streak? Well, I remember I thought to myself, more than likely, considering this is where the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak ended, more than likely WWE would try to do that with Asuka just to pull the shock factor in. But it didn't feel as shocking as when the Undertaker lost. In my opinion, it just didn't feel that shocking. Yeah, it was shocking, just not on that level. I gave the match a B+. To me, Asuka winning that title really would have cemented the match much better. To me, and I've said this before about WrestleMania and matches in general, wins do matter in wrestling. Like, they do kind of hinder the match, since you know wrestling is not really a sport. It is a continuing story. So the wins do really matter in the sport of wrestling. And it just kind of sucks that Asuka had to lose. Like, there really was no reason for her to lose. In my opinion, she should have won that title and then kept it for, like, maybe a year until, like, somebody like, I don't know, Ronda Rousey, somebody that's legitimate and could realistically beat Asuka. Charlotte, in a real fight, Charlotte cannot beat Asuka. We all know that for real. Asuka pretty much fucked her arm up, okay? So that pretty much tells you all you need to know. Let's just move on to the other matches, because this is just the bottom of this is just like the top of the barrel, honestly, when it comes to good matches, but really bad endings. So anyway, for one thing, Cena ran off to go get ready for what I was assuming at the time was for Taker, but we're gonna get into that in a second. We move on to Bobby Roode versus Rusev versus Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton. In my opinion, this was the worst match of the night. When you're in a ring, when you have a fatal four-way match between wrestlers who are mostly limited, and in my opinion, I'm sorry to say this about Bobby Roode, but Bobby Roode is a limited wrestler. I've seen him in TNA. I've seen him, like, doing his stuff. In my opinion, I think he was probably the least impressive out of all the TNA originals. I just thought that he always had like a very limited, not like very limited like Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton levels of limited, but I really thought he had like a very limited moveset. To me, at this point in WWE, the only thing that's impressive about him is his entrance music. That's it. Like, what's that? That's not a character. Entrance music is not a character at all. And it doesn't really... And it was just bad. I mean, this match was just not all that great. You know, for them putting Rusev in the match out of nowhere, you would think they would have him win the title. You know, since it's Rusev Day. I wasn't that big on the Rusev Day thing, but in my opinion, this should have been Rusev's time to shine. He had the most to lose out of all the three guys in this match. He had the most to lose in this. Where has Rusev been since he lost to Cena at WrestleMania 31? Nowhere. So he had a lot to gain this match, and he had so much to fucking lose. And if you weren't going to have Rusev win the title, why would you have him get pinned? You could have at the very least gave that win. I didn't care that Jinder Mahal won, honestly. It's better than him being the WWE champion. Because I'm telling you right now, Jinder Mahal was the worst WWE champion of all time. He was worse than Diesel. He was worse than JBL. And he was worse than pretty much all the new generation era WWF champions combined. He was even worse than Psycho Sid. And I think Psycho Sid is like the bottom barrel of WWF champions. So anyway, him winning the United States Championship wasn't that big of a deal. My main issue was that why did it have to be Rusev to get the pin out of all the wrestlers that you could have done that? Like, did you really have to can Rusev like that? Like, I am getting so sick and tired of WWE just fucking over their talents that get themselves over, that really bust their ass to actually do something in this company. I'm getting sick and tired of them just fucking these wrestlers over. It's just a load of bullshit. Honestly, it's not right, in my opinion. It's just not right. This win was not right at all. But we'll see what Jinder Mahal does. I mean, the United States Championship was already tainted by Del Rio, so what worse can Jinder Mahal do, honestly? The match, I gave it a C-, man. The match was just not all that great. So we move on to Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. This match surprised me. It surprised me because I honestly thought this match was going to be bad. I did not think this match was going to be like very spectacular. I thought Ronda Rousey, I honestly thought she was going to be one of those wrestlers where they overhyped her to a point where she couldn't deliver. Kind of like this WrestleMania, huh? Well, anyway, she delivered. In my opinion, she really did deliver. Well, one thing I gotta say, her ring gear, good God, her ring gear. It looks sexy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I love Ronda Rousey and everything. Not in that way, obviously, but you know what I mean. The outfit looked great and everything, but the issue is that I think she's gonna realize that she's gonna need to start wearing knee pads or something. Because if you guys ever wrestled before, wrestling without knee pads is one of the most painful. It was like wrestling without knee pads is like one of the most painful things ever. And you can tell just from the way she looked in that ring that it looked like she was in a lot of pain wrestling with those knee pads on. Well, anyway, so just her, the match was great. Like I said, Kurt Angle and Triple H, I think were kind of like the dark points in the match, honestly. And that's kind of sad for me to say that. Triple H is my second favorite wrestler of all time, and I think Kurt Angle is like one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. It's kind of sad that they were like the dark points of. It's kind of sad that they were like the dark points of the match, but I mean, but with Ronda and Stephanie, like whether you love Ronda or you don't care for her or you hate her, to be honest, this was probably the most entertaining. Sorry, I gotta drink some water. this was probably the most entertaining part of WrestleMania. And that's kind of saying a lot, honestly. So Ronda Rousey snapped Stephanie McMahon's arm to cause her to tap out. So that means we won't have to see that she-devil for like another 6 months. Thank God. Because I'm getting sick and tired of Stephanie McMahon taking credit for, like, not for, like, inventing the women's revolution when you know she really didn't do shit to, like, improve the women's division at all. Honestly. She was just a figurehead. That's all she was. So, I'm just glad I don't have to see her taking credit for the hard work that all these other women do. Like, at least I don't have to see that for another 6 months. Well, anyway, I gave the match a B-. Like, it could have been much worse, but at the same time, it could have been much better. So anyway, we move on to the New Day versus the Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers. You know, I actually thought this match was gonna be match of the night. I legitimately thought this match was gonna steal the show. Just like a lot of these matches on this card. I thought it was going to steal the show. I thought it was going to be awesome. I thought it was going to actually be a WrestleMania-worthy match. The match lasted 5 minutes. Moving on. Like, there was nothing else to this match. I mean, let's see. I don't even remember who won, to be honest with you. They won. I mean, the Bludgeon Brothers won. I mean, that's cool and everything. But at the same time, it's like, you guys couldn't have used more time to showcase what you guys can do. Like, this had the potential to be Edge, to be like the TLC match in 2001. This had the potential to be just as good as that. Because these are very capable workers and everything. But it just sucks that it just didn't deliver at all. Especially the fact that, once again, it lasted 5 minutes. So, anyway, speaking of a match lasting 5 minutes, speaking of a match that only lasted 5 minutes, since you guys know my name on here, Undertaker Largest Fan, you guys know I'm a big Undertaker fan. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I was one of the guys who actually cried when the Undertaker retired last year. I was one of those guys. And I was very excited to actually see him return. And I'm gonna be real with you, I wanted him to return as the American Badass. Because when he left his hat in the ring, it really signified that either he was retiring or that was the death of his dead man character. And, you know, it just felt, him returning, it just felt like I cried for nothing. I mean, honestly, it just felt like I just cried for, like, no reason at all last year. And I'm telling you right now, I rarely get emotional like that. But that was like one of the only times where I really just got really emotional. And so anyway, Cena came out, was waiting for the Undertaker, because apparently he was told that the Undertaker was here, or that he's here. The lights went off. Elias showed up. By the way, I actually filmed my live reaction to that. And, you know, I filmed my live reaction to that. I posted it on my YouTube channel. 1 second after I posted that, WWE cut my video down. For copyright reasons, obviously. But, I don't know. Yeah, like, just like what some of these people on my feed are saying, like, it just didn't make sense. It didn't really add much to anything with the Undertaker returning. The card was stacked. This WrestleMania card was stacked without the Undertaker. I can admit that, honestly. As a big Undertaker fan, I can even say that. This WrestleMania would have been fine without the... I mean, it still would have ended up being shit anyway, but... It would have been... The card would have been stacked without the Undertaker. We really did not need the Undertaker to be here at all. Why ruin his health even more just so some fans just so some fans like me can be satisfied? Like, honestly. And... that match was exactly 2 minutes. That makes it even worse. Oh my god. Well, anyway, so what I was saying was that this match once again, it's another dream match that was overhyped, that we all expected to be awesome, to be spectacular. We waited. That segment with Elias and John Cena and The Undertaker coming out and everything, that segment, guess what? It lasted over 10 minutes. We waited 10 minutes for a 2-minute match. A 2-minute glorified squash match. Honestly, we waited 2 minutes for a squash match. And you guys thought Bray Wyatt got buried at WrestleMania 31 with The Undertaker. You never seen this match then if you thought Bray Wyatt got buried. At least Bray Wyatt gave The Undertaker a challenge. The Undertaker destroyed John Cena. John Cena got 1 offense. And guess how much damage that did to The Undertaker? None. He got dropped like a bitch by The Undertaker. The Undertaker tombstoned him. And it just... You know what? I just gotta say one thing. If this is how The Undertaker's gonna leave and retire, fine. At least this is somewhat satisfying for his character. Last year with Roman Reigns, I reviewed WrestleMania 33 by the way with Roman Reigns, but unfortunately it got taken down for obvious reasons. I said it before. If you're gonna have a stupid ending, at least have a stupid ending that is satisfying. WrestleMania 33, with The Undertaker retiring from Roman Reigns, that was anything but satisfying. This, on the other hand, The Undertaker retiring by just absolutely destroying someone, that is just... That's very thematically, or... It's just thematically appropriate, in my opinion. That's really all I gotta say about that. I just thought it was dumb that they wasted so much time. That I think that's really the reason why the tag team match got cut so short, was because of that, like that wasted time. I mean, after the match was over, I wasn't really even excited to see The Undertaker. I just felt like, wow, I wasted 12 minutes of my life for that. Like, it's just kind of sad that I feel that way about an Undertaker match. I never felt that way about an Undertaker match. And by the way, this is coming from a fan that sat through Undertaker versus the Big Boss Man, that sat through Undertaker versus Shane McMahon, that sat through Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. So, this is just kind of sad that I say this about my favorite wrestler of all time. I never once felt really excited to see him during this whole segment. And that's just sad, you know. This was probably the second worst match of the night because how short it was. It was maybe like... Yeah, it was 2 minutes long. And I gave the match a C-, honestly. There was really nothing else to really grapple towards other than the fact that The Undertaker was back for like 2 minutes. And then even if he does wrestle again, we won't see him for like 6 months to a year. So really this doesn't matter at all in the long run. Hopefully it sets up to a rematch with them, so we can actually have a proper match with them at WrestleMania 35, but something tells me that's more than likely not happening. So anyway, the match was a C-. It wasn't that great. It wasn't bad, wasn't good. It was just there. And there's nothing worse in wrestling that's just there. You know, just so you guys know why I say this WrestleMania was shit. Honestly. So anyway, we move on to probably the second most hyped match of this card, but same thing, kind of didn't really deliver all that much. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This match was extremely limited. Shane McMahon has diverticulitis. Daniel Bryan just came back. Those two wrestling at all at WrestleMania was not really the best of ideas. I love Daniel Bryan. I really love him and everything. But you already know the fact that he's back, he's probably going to be working a limited schedule anyway. Like, just... You already know he's probably going to be working very limited. Like, that's kind of... You already know that's just going to be an issue with all that. But you know, it's kind of sad that he didn't really wrestle all that much for like a good. Just thank you by the way for the subscription. Just it's just kind of sad that Daniel Bryan didn't really do much in this match at all. And then on top of that, once again, same thing. The story called for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to win. Guess what? Daniel Bryan beat Sami Zayn. Made him tap out like a bitch. You would think at the very least Kevin Owens would like powerbomb Shane McMahon to win or something, like steal a victory. Something for them to win. But not have Daniel Bryan obviously job out to them. No, they just lost. So what's gonna happen next? Are they gonna head to Raw, or will we see them in the Indies or something? Like, what's gonna happen next? Like, this is probably the most intrigued that I've been post WrestleMania with any match on the card. But at the same time, it just doesn't really make much sense at all. Like, it just. You would think that they would, at the very least, just have them, like, I don't know, have Daniel Bryan get disqualified or something. Like, it was just unsatisfying. I mean, it was satisfying to see Daniel Bryan win and everything, but it was unsatisfying because this story really doesn't have a thematically satisfying conclusion, if you know what I mean. Well, anyway, I gave the match a B-. It could have been so much better. But because of the fact that Shane McMahon had diverticulitis, and the fact that Daniel Bryan is pretty much working a limit, he's pretty much going to be stuck working a limited match. Limited matches anyway, if you guys don't know that. So, those two factors really kind of hindered this match, honestly. So, it's just a B-. We move on to Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. This was my piss break. I didn't see anything about this match. All I know is that Nia Jax won, and it was a celebration for all the people that got bullied and everything. She's a wrestler. She's a celebrity. Why does she care about what someone says about her? Like, I know she takes fat jokes like really seriously. Believe me, I've seen her Twitter before. It was good that she won. But at the same time, it's like, to me, what I was thinking was like, should this match have really happened to begin with? In my opinion, I think Asuka should have fought Alexa Bliss and destroyed Alexa Bliss. I just think this match shouldn't have happened at all. Like, the story called for it though, so it made sense. Like, at the very least, it made sense for Nia Jax to fight Alexa Bliss, unlike Cedric Alexander. Like, it made sense at the very least. Like, the story was calling for it anyway. But at the same time, it's like, still, should this match have really happened? In my opinion, Alexa Bliss, she's good on the mic. She's kind of like the Miz of the women's division. She's good on the mic, but not that great between the ropes. Alexa Bliss is she's kind of like Hulk Hogan, you know, where she's only as good as her opponent is. And, yeah, like, it's kind of, just in my opinion, not, like, Bliss is just, she's only as good as her opponent is. I just lost my train of thought right now, by the way. That's why I'm repeating my words. She's only as good as her opponents are. And Nia Jax is not that good between the ropes either, honestly. So, you already knew it wasn't going to be that great of a match to begin with. So, Nia Jax won. Nothing else to really say about it. Like, it was just same thing, kind of like Undertaker and Cena. It was just there. Like, that's all there was to it. It was just there. And, yeah, you know. What does the women's revolution come to? To have two matches that had a lot of expectation, but zero delivery. Like, that's kind of all I gotta say about the match. I gave the match, I'm not even gonna give it a grade because I didn't really see it at all. So I can't really grade it, honestly, with full honesty. Well, anyway, so we move on to Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. Oh my fucking god! This match. This goddamn match. This match, man. Everybody and their mothers thought this match was gonna be spectacular. Everybody thought this match was gonna top Wrestle Kingdom 10. Everybody thought that this was the dream match of all dream matches. I thought this was gonna be the biggest dream match since like Undertaker versus Sting. And I'm still pissed we didn't get that match. But looking at this match, I'm pretty much glad that I didn't get that. Because that probably would have been just as bad as this. This match. My cousin fell asleep during this match. That's how bad this is. He fell asleep. I almost fell asleep during this match. The match started off slow. It was clunky. The best part of the match was when Nakamura kneed him in the head. In the back of the head. That was the best part of the match. And it was copied from the Wrestle Kingdom 10 match. And yeah, it's just WWE just really... They didn't give them the chance to really show what they can do. And you can tell from the look on their faces that they were frustrated with this. Hell, I would be frustrated with this if that's all I had to work with, was just something like that. And then on top of that, you see, if Nakamura have won this match, honestly, I would have been like, fine. This match wasn't all that great, but at least Nakamura got his win. At least Nakamura finally got his moment in the sun. Because to me, after NXT, he hasn't done anything on the main roster to really show what he can do, other than winning the Royal Rumble. But, as you guys know, when it comes to WrestleMania, you win that Royal Rumble, it really doesn't mean shit, especially if you don't win your WrestleMania match. Shinsuke Nakamura did not win his match. He was gonna go for the Bumaye, which I call it the Bumaye. I'm not calling it the Shinkasa, whatever it's supposed to be. I'm calling it the Bumaye. He tried to hit Styles with the Bumaye. Styles reversed and went into the Styles Clash. That was a cool reversal. And I thought the match wasn't gonna end, because you know WWE, when it comes to their matches, they don't really... Most of their matches hit like multiple finishers. It took one Styles Clash for him to put away Nakamura. Are you fucking kidding me? I love AJ Styles. I'm more of a fan of AJ Styles than Nakamura. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I've never been a gigantic Shinsuke Nakamura fan. I'm not a fan of strong style wrestling. I wasn't really a fan of his character at all. Not even in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I thought he was like probably the least interesting out of all the New Japan Pro Wrestling guys. Come at me all you want. I don't care, honestly. Anyway, so Nakamura losing was just... But even though I'm not a big fan of Nakamura, I could see like cashing in. I could see a no-brainer from a mile away. Having Nakamura win that match was a no-brainer, but apparently a clueless old man thought otherwise. Like, in fact, now I'm thinking about it, both of the Royal Rumble winners got fucked over. Both of them. Both of the Japanese Royal Rumble winners got fucked over. I wonder why. Fuck you, then. Honestly. And then on top of that, to put the cherry on this shit cake of a match, Nakamura turns heel. Of all the stupidest things you guys could have done, turning Nakamura heel was the worst of all of that. That takes the cake of dumb decisions. Nakamura, if you guys don't know Nakamura, he's not good at the English language. Unless you pair him up with Paul Heyman or a manager that can actually talk well, this can only go so well. Unless he's gonna be like a monster heel where he doesn't speak at all, that can work. But something tells me they're gonna try to make Nakamura speak anyway. I wouldn't be surprised they make him speak on SmackDown in like 2 days and have him explain his actions. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But you can't turn someone heel if they can't really cut a a promo where the people that are watching can understand. If they can't cut a promo to save their life, they can only go so far as a heel. I mean, babyfaces can at least somewhat recover from bad promos. Heels cannot. They can't recover from bad promos. And Shinsuke Nakamura turning heel, like, it has potential. I'll admit that. It has potential, but at the same time, it's like, I feel more sympathetic towards Shinsuke than I do for AJ. Because this, look at this from a storytelling perspective. Shinsuke Nakamura just got fucked over in his biggest match possible from one Styles Clash. He kind of has a reason to be frustrated. Maybe he shouldn't have, like, socked him in the balls, but he has a reason to be frustrated and to do all this stuff. So it's kind of like, it's just dumb. I mean, I just don't know what to say about it. It's just such a waste. Such a waste of their talents, man. And to me, I feel like WWE either fucked this over to, like, save it for SummerSlam or something like that, which in my opinion, that's dumb, because why would you save a big dream match for a pay-per-view that means less than WrestleMania? Like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't... I don't know where this is going to go, honestly. I don't know, and I'm kind of interested to see where this goes, but at the same time, I'm like, wow, they really had the balls to do something this fucking stupid. Man, I just don't know what to say about this. This was the match. This was the match that I actually thought was going to be like the WrestleMania match. I thought this was going to top Savage versus Steamboat. What a fucking idiot I was, huh? How dumb was I to believe something like that? This was just, man, this was just disappointing. That's all I gotta say. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was just disappointing. And that's all I gotta say about this match. It was just, I gave it a B-. Like, WWE really should not have done this shit, honestly. Oh, then on top of that, we're moving on to what happened next. Braun Strowman versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Now, you see, I was excited for this match too. I actually thought a returning WWE superstar was going to show up, or a debuting NXT superstar. I thought someone was going to show up at this match. You know, someone that was a wrestler. I thought a wrestler was going to be in this match. I thought a wrestler was going to be Braun Strowman's partner. Guess who was Braun Strowman's partner? A fan that no one knew or cared about. No one. I did not even know who. I didn't know who this kid was, and I quite frankly didn't care. You do not put. There's rules in wrestling that should be followed. Don't touch the referee. Don't try to fight your boss. Here's the third rule that should be in there. Never, ever bring fans to your match. Good God. It's just so dumb that they decided to do that. Why would you decide to put a kid that nobody knew, nobody cared about, except for the parents that went with him? Why would you do that? Why would you even put a kid's life in danger like that in the first place? I know that kid was like a plant, but still, he's a kid. Why would you do that? Why would you even have Braun Strowman win anyway? Just so the kid can awkwardly, like, lift up the belt, like, hey, look at me, I'm the champion, but this belt is heavy as hell, though. Why did you have me in this match? This match pissed me off even more than Nakamura versus Styles. I thought, honestly, when I saw this match, I was like, maybe a surprise return will at the very least, like, save this Mania. Kind of like when the Hardys returned at WrestleMania 33. That alone saved WrestleMania 33 from being one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. And I still think that WrestleMania is mediocre. Well, anyway, this match This didn't save WrestleMania 34 at all. In fact, this alone made WrestleMania 34 even worse. That was a shit show. I can't believe the fans at the Superdome were cheering for this shit. Why? Why would you cheer for this bullshit at all? The only way this could have made sense was that if the kid was like a cancer survivor, if he was like a cancer survivor or something like that, that would make sense. I don't know if he is. If he is, then I take back that statement and I am very sorry. Because if you guys know about me, cancer kind of holds a very dark spot in my heart because I've lost family members to that and everything, very close family members. So if the kid had cancer, then you know what? Fine. That's the stupid, that's the stupid ass ending that you want. That's the stupid ass thing that you want. Fine. At least it makes some sort of sense. But to me, the kid, I doubt the kid even has cancer. Honestly. I doubt that. So there was really no other point to him doing that at all. I gave the match a D+. Worst match of the night. Worst match of the night by far. And good God, we move on to the main event. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. You see, I was actually hyped for this match. I actually thought this match was going to be good. Because in my opinion, Brock Lesnar has the best chemistry with Roman Reigns out of all the Shield members. He had a shit match with Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania 32. And he had a squash match with Seth Rollins at Battleground 2015. So I thought, if their WrestleMania 31 match was anything to go by, this was going to be brutal and great. It was kind of brutal, but not great by any sense of the word. The crowd was chanting boring. The crowd was chanting this is awful. And I agree, this match was awful. Brock Lesnar looked like he couldn't give two shits to be there at all. Why would you have, you know what? If Roman Reigns have won the match, I would have been like, fine. That's the ending that you want. That's the stupid ass ending that you want. Fine. I don't care. At least we no longer got a part-time champion. But instead of them going for the stupid ass ending, they go for the stupid ass ending that is completely unsatisfying on any fucking level. And I thought WrestleMania 33, that ending was unsatisfying. This ending was even more unsatisfying. Just the heel won. The part-timer won. He keeps the championship for over a year when he doesn't defend it at all. So we're going to have to suffer through another 6 months to a year of this man not defending the championship. In fact, they might even let him, they might even have him succeed, surpass CM Punk in the longest World Heavyweight Championship wins of all time. Which, one, is not really that impressive, because one, that title is shit and doesn't mean anything. Two, at least CM Punk defended his titles. At least he defended it at house shows, at mostly every pay-per-view. Brock Lesnar defended that title in 2017. I believe he defended it 4 times. Every time. And every time, those matches were either shit or mediocre at best. Except for their SummerSlam match. That was awesome. I'm not going to lie. So we're going to keep the title on a part-timer who's probably going to the UFC soon. Who doesn't give a shit about WWE at all. I'm not a Lesnar fan. I'm not a Roman Reigns fan. But once again, just like Shinsuke Nakamura, I see a no-brainer. That was a no-brainer to put the belt on Reigns. And like I said, I'm not a fan of Roman Reigns. I don't like his in-ring work. I don't like anything about... I don't like his promo skills. Well, they've improved since, the Cena and and Roman Reigns feud happened at No Mercy, his mic skills have dramatically improved, but they're still not great by any sense of the word. He's still no Rock. He's still no Austin, no matter how much WWE tries to force you to, no matter how much WWE tries to tell you that he is. He's nowhere close to that at all. So, oh yeah, and also, this is Roman Reigns' 4th WrestleMania main event in a row. Guess how much CM Punk has had? None. Guess how much Daniel Bryan has had? 1. Guess how much guys who are so much better than Roman Reigns, people who deserve it more than Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, all these guys. Guess how much WrestleMania main events they had? None. Well, except for Seth Rollins, but technically, in my opinion, that didn't really count. He didn't actually wrestle in that main event. He just kind of hijacked it. So to me, that didn't really count. I highly doubt he got the main event paycheck. But yeah, why would you have Roman Reigns main event 4 WrestleManias in a row? Not even Stone Cold Steve Austin did something like that. I don't think even Hulk Hogan did something like that. At least Hulk Hogan shared his spotlight with Macho Man Randy Savage. Granted, he kind of like glued the spotlight on his forehead, but at least he shared the spotlight. What you're doing, Roman Reigns, you're making fans hate him even more. Honestly. This is not getting him over, this is getting him even more hated. Like, and then Brock Lesnar busting him open the hard way, just like what he did to Randy Orton. But Roman Reigns powered out and did the same thing that he did with The Undertaker and Triple H with that whole, where he runs across the ropes and spears him. I thought the match was over. And I was like, when I saw him spear Brock Lesnar like that, I was like, thank you. Can this match please be over? By the way, Brock Lesnar, that motherfucker hit 7 or 8 F5s on Roman Reigns. It took him past like 5 F5s to beat Roman Reigns. It took him 3 to break the streak. It took him 1 to beat Braun Strowman. It took him like 2 to beat Goldberg. What the fuck was that? Roman Reigns, we all know Roman Reigns is no Goldberg. We know Roman Reigns has lost to Braun Strowman. I mean, granted, The Undertaker was older back then, so that kind of makes a bit more sense. But the other ones, no. Why were you trying to build up the F5 to be like the most strong, most unstoppable finisher of all time for the last year, but it takes Lesnar 7 or 8 to beat Roman Reigns? That doesn't make a lick of sense. Maybe if that had been Braun Strowman, that would have made some sense. If that had been Samoa Joe, that would have made sense. But Roman Reigns, that doesn't make a lick of sense at all. And like I said, Brock Lesnar won. It was just the most unsatisfying ending to a WrestleMania ever. I felt more unsatisfied with this ending than when Triple H retained his title at WrestleMania 2000. And that, my friends, was 18 years ago. We're still having this mentality that part-timers are like the big stars of this event. At least give the belt to a full-timer. Stop trying to force down our throats that part-timers, like, oh, part-timers are where it's at. These part-timers, they're the best. The full-timers don't got shit on these guys. Just to give some guys with nostalgia boners like something to cheer for? Why? Oh, good God. This match was a C. It was a C. One of the worst main events I've ever seen. Honestly, it's funny how everybody thought WrestleMania 31 was going to be just like this. But it turned out to be much better. And then everybody thought WrestleMania 34, that match was going to be just like WrestleMania 31, except without the Seth Rollins cash-in. But it turned out to be much worse. That's just hilarious, isn't it? This was honestly just one of the worst main events of all time. Brock Lesnar, or should I say Brock Lazy, has no business to be in the main event of WrestleMania. The man doesn't give a shit about wrestling. He doesn't give a shit to be at WrestleMania. The only thing he cares about is a paycheck. And if all Brock Lazy is going to do is phone in a match that main evented the biggest wrestling show of the year, Why would you have him as the main event at all? Like, at the very least, they could have tried. They could have tried to do something with this main event. They did nothing. Nothing. They didn't try at all. And that's what makes this main event bad. It seems like Lesnar didn't try. Roman Reigns at least sort of tried. But yeah, I'm sick of Brock too. I'm honestly sick of Brock. I hate Brock Lesnar. And it's really bad that I wasted like an hour talking about this WrestleMania. Speaking of this WrestleMania, good God. Like I said, this Mania, I graded a D+. This Mania was worse than WrestleMania 33. This Mania was slightly worse than WrestleMania 32. Like I said, at least WrestleMania 32 gave me some classic matches, gave me some classic moments, gave me an ending that made sense and was, in storyline wise, was satisfying for the casual viewer. There's nothing else in this story that was like okay, here's one thing I gotta say about WrestleMania 33 too. At least WrestleMania 33, even though it was bittersweet, at least it kind of felt appropriate to the story. This main event, this ending to WrestleMania didn't feel appropriate to anything, especially not to the story of WrestleMania, your biggest show of the year. This is one of the worst WrestleManias I've seen. If I actually, back then, when the network didn't exist, if I actually paid $50 to watch this, I would be calling my cable company and demanding a refund. I want to demand a refund right now for the $10 I spent for the network. Like, man, this is one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, like, I don't want to over-exaggerate. I'm not over-exaggerating. This WrestleMania was shit. It was overhyped. Like, it was basically, this WrestleMania the tagline for this WrestleMania should be shock value for the sake of shock value. Because that's all they did in this match. That's all they did. All they did was just give us shocking things for the sake of giving us shocking things. Like, why? Oh, because this is the arena where the streak ended. So? That doesn't mean you have to be making stupid bullshit ideas and stupid bullshit endings just to give us a shock value. Like, oh my God. This WrestleMania insulted me as a wrestling fan. As a wrestling fan, I am offended by this Mania. I'm legitimately offended. Like, I'm seriously thinking about just going back to watching New Japan. I'm thinking about, once again, I said this before in my WrestleMania 32 review, you guys should just give New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, or Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, basically all these companies that are trying to compete with WWE, you should give them a chance. At least if you guys give them a chance and they compete with WWE, at least WWE will start trying again. God, I'm just done talking about this WrestleMania. My brain is fucking hurting. NXT TakeOver was better than this by a long shot. By a fucking long shot. This Mania was sad. And seeing from how it's looking right now, I don't think 35 is going to be any better. I guess I'm honestly done. I'm done with WWE for a while. I don't think I'm going to be paying attention to much of it. I think I'm just going to watch. I honestly, I would rather watch TNA Redemption. I would rather watch that pay-per-view than watch this WrestleMania ever again. This Mania was shit. In fact, it was more than shit. It was something that belongs in the depths of hell. That's how bad this Mania was to me. Honestly, if someone bought me the DVD for WrestleMania 33, I mean not 33, for WrestleMania 34, if they gave it to me, I would dump it in the trash immediately. Not to be a dick, but because of how bad this Mania was. Or I would make them return it, because I would feel bad for them that they wasted like $14 for such a shit show. This is a waste of time. This is a waste of money. This was just a waste of 7 hours. And that just pisses me off. So this Mania was shit. Nothing else to it. Let's just hope WWE tries to make up for this. I doubt they will, but let's hope. Let's hope at least the Monday after WrestleMania is something. It always is, but who knows? Maybe they might try to pull some other bullshit tomorrow. So, anyway, I'll see you guys later. Undertaker fan, peace out. Fuck this WrestleMania.